Hello, hello.
I'm gonna. I'll put up the pages. All right. Can't tell when we get started.
It's okay. We're gonna wait a little bit for the rabbi.
Yeah. How's your week been, Dina? You working?
For me?
Dina.
Yeah. I have several students a day Zooming and then meetings.
Oh, wow.
And and then planning. Like it's a lot. It's like a full-time job and then some. But I'm very grateful to have the job. So
Yeah, right now especially. I hear you. Unmute. We're going to be muting everybody once we start the service. Just FYI, people.
Good.
Shabbos.
Good Yantiv.
David.
Yantiv.
Good
You want me to get all dressed up? I get the same clothes on I had at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, I know the feeling, kid.
I think I got a stain on it already. Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
Hello.
Stephen, you realize with the virtual background they keep fading out? Do you know that?
What am I?
You keep fading out. All we see is part of your face and your body just disappears.
I love that.
You only have a little bit of a head and part of it.
I'm wearing a white t-shirt. So you see the white? You see the white t-shirt?
Really, yeah.
And when I'm going like this, it's because I'm going to get the prayer book.
You half your face is missing. It's all right.
You look good, Steve.
What's that behind you, Steve? Feeling good. Although I tore my MCL trying to run too fast a few weeks ago.
Oh my God, poor baby.
Hey, it's all right.
Hi, Ida.
I'm 2 minutes stretch.
Hey, Steve, what's that behind you?
It's the sun coming over the earth.
Oh, I see. Very nice.
Hi, Chuck.
Virtual background. Hi, Doc.
If I do it right, sometimes you just see my hair. My face is blue. It's like
Yeah, just pieces of you. Yeah. That's what happens. Virtual background's fun, but you kind of like.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me try this again. Let's see.
Hey, Rita and Paul. Hello.
Hello, Stewie. How are you?
I'm good. Y'all doing all right?
Great.
Awesome. Number 3.
Yeah, I know. This is number 3 today. Number 2
people.
I watched on Facebook because I was working a little bit.
I saw you there.
I can't ride.
It's the rabbi. Here he is.
Who's the phone? I see the green phone.
Rhoda, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone's been muted. You can see.
And Annie.
Hey, am I here? I'm here. Hi, everybody. Hello.
Whoa, you got
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Gail.
Hi.
Hi, Rhoda.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, honey.
But I will be on. After you got, I can't unmute you guys. You're muted. I didn't mute you. You did it yourself. Oh, there you go.
How am I doing there, Dory?
All right, you're doing good. Okay.
You have no feedback yet. That's good.
Am I okay? Did I do anything wrong?
Rabbi,
No, don't worry about it.
Rabbi, you pulled the hair from your head.
I've been sitting here since the 4 o'clock class.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
Hi. How is everybody?
Hi, Judy.
Hello.
Good
Hello,
job.
Judy.
Hi, Doreen.
Hello,
Thank you for all you do.
Well, you're welcome, honey. It's my pleasure. I love you all.
Okay.
What a nice group
Yeah,
tonight.
hi, Paul.
Hi.
All right. As you know, it is Shavuot. We're in the middle of Shavuot. And this is the holiday. I'll have something to say about it later. But it's when you combine a Yontif with a Shabbos, you're supposed to pull away from the Shabbos and you're supposed to give a little more to the Yontif.
Really?
And according to the Ezra's Torah Luach,
Wait, hold on.
give lots of money to scholars who do not support the state of Israel. And number 2, their entire board of directors is dead. So it's really amazing that they manage to get it out every year. But they just keep on keeping on. These are rabbis who are so good at their jobs that even after they're deceased, they're still working. Talk about getting a day off. Wow. Okay. Chazan, Abisal Shirin.
Okay.
Okay, take it away.
You want me to share this?
Torah, 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 Torah,
Torah, Torah, Tziva lanu
Moshe. Torah,
Torah, Torah, Torah, Torah, Torah, Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah,
Torah,
Tziva lanu Moshe.
Zione Tetze Torah. Zione Tetze Torah. Kimi Tzion, Kimi Tzion. Zione Tetze Torah. Ulevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Ulevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Ulevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Ulevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Mitzione Tetze Torah, Mitzione Tetze Torah, Mitzion, Mitzion, Mitzione Tetze Torah, Mitzion, Mitzion, Mitzione Tetze Torah, Shlosha Devarim. Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Haolam omed. Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Haolam omed. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הגמילות כצדיק. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הגמילות כצדיק.
Okay. Maybe I could offer, amen. Maybe I could offer a niggin. I wanted to say, Doreen, at some point we have to roll her up to the Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, which according to my prayer book, what page is that?
But we have to do the Shalom Aleichem first.
Right, that's what I suggest.
Tell me the pages, that's all. You guys just tell me.
Okay, now the Shalom Aleichem is fine. Yes.
Okay. So, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Yasharim, Malachei Elyon. Elech Malachei Adaki Bakadosh Baruch Hu. Moachim leShalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Adaki Bakadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu Shalom,
Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Adaki Bakadosh Baruch Hu.
Seichem l'shalom,
Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Adaki Bakadosh Baruch Hu.
Okay. All right, before we continue, because technically you're supposed to continue with Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, which means Psalm for
Page
Shabbat.
23.
We leave out a bunch of stuff, and it's kind of sad that Yontif, you're not allowed to sing these songs, but on Shabbat, of course, you do. Okay, page 23. That's it. We're done. Go home. Whoa. I can't read it that fast.
I'm having trouble scrolling on my computer for some reason. Just give me.
It's all right, sweetie. Okay, we should sing some scrolling music. And then she scroll, right down the computer, and she would scroll.
There. No.
23. I got it right
there. You go. You got it. Yay! Psalm 92. Okay.
You want to offer any goal for that?
Oh, no, this is just a free-form nigun.
Okay.
Which I was taught by Shlomo Carlebach after he passed away. He appeared to me, and okay, this is very appropriate for Shavuot, because on Shavuot, what did we get at Mount Sinai?
The Torah.
Yes, well, I'm glad the Chazan knows it.
They're all muted. They can't even. They're all muted.
Oh, they're all muted. I'm sorry.
The Torah.
That's sad. Okay, let's do this. It goes like this. Kechui mochem devarim shuvu v'shuvu el Hashem. Take with you words of Torah, return to the Lord your God. And we're going to do it without words. We're going to do die, die, die. Okay. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Try that together. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. And the second part, which Shlomo, should rest in peace, always sang higher. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Yes. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Okay, it is very clear that Zoom was designed for Jewish congregations and congregations of all kinds, because they totally prevents us from singing. So, but I know you were singing in your heart, and I'm glad Galia is here too. All right, so let us continue with Mizmor Shir on page 23, and the Chazan will do a beautiful job of that.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולשמר לשמך עליון, ולשמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, במולדתך לילות, Asor vareda vedane inayon rekino Ismor shir yom Shabbat tov leodon ladonai ulesamer leshimcha ulesamer leshimcha כי שימחתני אדוני בפועליך במעשה ידיך רבים. Gavrohu Masecha Adonai Meod, Amku Makshevotei.
Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat,
Tov Leodot Adonai, Ulesamer Leshimcha Elion, Ulesamer Leshimcha Elion.
Okay, we'll continue now.
In the bottom of the page, the last 4 lines.
Okay.
Tzadikata Hamadi Ifra, Keves Balvador, Shulim, Beit Adonai, Bechatzot Eloheinu, Ya'avihu, Odenu Besevat, Neshem Bevanani, Iyo Le'avi, Yashar Adonai, Tuli, Beno Avlata. In the next page, there is the last of the Psalms. We usually don't sing it, but because, and you don't have it anyway, so I am not going to sing it. So it's okay. I wanted to do, but you don't have the page. Don't worry. Rabbi.
Yes.
I am passing the ball to you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Chazan. Thank you. You got us into the service very lovely. I see that we have, or I saw before it disappeared, we have 18 participants, Kinahara, which is high. That's 18, as you know. That's a wonderful, wonderful number. And I'm just going to push my paraphernalia out of the way. And what I wanted to ask was, well, I'm not asking it yet. What we do on Shavuot. Shavuot is one of the Shalosh Regalim. It's one of the 3 pilgrimage festivals. And that represents a time when the Israelites would journey to the Holy Temple when it stood in Jerusalem. But this is not mentioned in the Torah. The only thing that's mentioned about Shavuot is that it is harvest related. It is the beginning of the harvest. I don't think it's Chag HaKatzir. It might be. Well, that's a symbol of the harvest. It is Chag HaKatzir. Thank you, Chazan. Because it's possible to call Sukkot also Chag HaKatzir. See, Pesach is the beginning of the harvest, which is barley. Then we've got Shavuot, which is the middle of the harvest. And finally, we have Sukkot in the fall, when under normal circumstances, if you do not live in Florida or Tucson, it starts to get cool at night. And that's when you build the sukkah. Well, as far as Shavuot, and we've discussed this before, Pesach is matzah and the Seder, and no chametz. Sukkot is the lulav and etrog and the sukkah. Well, what is Shavuot? Shavuot explicitly is dairy foods. There are certain aspects of the davening on Shavuot which are important. There's a beautiful poem called Akdamut, which is said before the Torah reading on Shavuot, and it goes back, I think, to the 12th century. It was written by, was it Rabbi Meir? I think it was Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir, I don't know which Rabbi Meir it is. There are a lot of Rabbi Meirs. We did not have surnames in those days. We didn't have last names because we were just Rabbi Meir, or you were called so-and-so, the son or the daughter of so-and-so. But one of my favorites about whom we'll be speaking later is Kalonimus. Kalonimus ben Kalonimus. Isn't that great? Now, why was it Kalonimus ben Kalonimus, especially if Chazan, you really have to take a lot as a father.
Rabbi Meir ben Yitzchak Nehorai in the 12th century, as you say.
There you go. Rabbi Meir ben
Germany.
Yitzchak Nehorai, 12th century. Was the 12th century, sorry?
In Germany.
In Germany, yes. He was a Yekka. Was the 12th century in Germany good for the Jews?
Yeah.
It was terrible. Wasn't as bad as the 11th century, but it was, well, whatever. It was bad. And Rabbi Meir ben Yitzchak Nehorai was forced to debate a Catholic priest. And very often what would happen is there were Jews who became apostates. They became backsliders, and they would become priests. And after that, their particular area was debating with rabbis. Frankly, if you want to do a kamikaze mission, debate with a rabbi about anything. Even rabbis debating with rabbis can be a dicey proposition. But Rabbi Meir was lucky because even though he won the debate, he was not A, killed, B, driven out of town by sunset. No, he was allowed to stay in town. And as the outcome from his winning the debate, he wrote Akdamut, which talks about other things, about how all the nations of the world come to Israel. And they say, why are you, oh, fair one, they say to Israel, as though they're speaking to a beautiful maiden. Why do you put yourself in the lion's den? Come and live among us, assimilate, change your faith, and all shall be well. And Israel says, no, we have a very rare and precious legacy, the Torah, and we will remain faithful to God, which was, it's important to point out in all seriousness that the 12th century was also famous for martyrdoms. In any case, the poem goes on to talk about the days of Messiah. When Mashiach comes, we will all drink from tons of wine, T-U-N, that have been put up since the time of creation. God will slaughter the Leviathan and the Behemoth, that is the behemoth and the Leviathan, and everyone will gather under a tent, which is made of the skin of the Leviathan. The behemoth was an enormous wild ox, and Leviathan was a gigantic sea monster who nonetheless apparently had fins and scales because she was considered kosher. And when Mashiach comes, God will slaughter the Leviathan and the behemoth, and we will all gather under the tent made out of the skin of the fish, the big fish, and we will have a fish fry. And it will be your choice as to whether you have the meat baked, broiled, or fried in a lovely brown sauce, and they'll tenderize it for you, or perhaps you want the fish. There's a story about that.
Different turf.
Should I tell the story? I'll tell the story. Okay. The story is that the great rabbi dies and goes to heaven, and he's standing there at the gates, and an angel comes in. This is not the one with the piece of herring. That's a different story, okay? This is the one where the angel says to him very proudly, Rabbi, you're just in time for dinner. And the rabbi says, no, what's for dinner? And the angel says, you have a choice. You can get meat or fish. And the rabbi says, so what is the meat? What is the fish? And the angel says, the meat is the legendary behemoth, which you can get baked, broiled, or fried. You can get it in au jus. You can get a salad on the side. Ah, it's geschmack. And then the rabbi says, and what is the fish? And he says, oh, the fish is the far-fabled Leviathan. Again, you can get it baked, broiled, or fried. And it is also there for your dining pleasure. And the rabbi goes, excuse me, who's your sheikhet? Who's your Rav HaMachshir? Who did the slaughtering of these animals? And who is your certifying rabbi supervising that you're kosher? And the angel puffs himself up very proudly and says, none other than the Rebbe, the Lord God himself. And the rabbi goes, I'll have the fish. Okay, so anyway, what do you eat on Shavuot? You have to eat dairy. Why do we eat dairy? There's several reasons for this. Reason number one is that the Torah is compared to milk and honey. As it says in Shir HaShirim, the Song of Songs, honey and milk are under your tongue. Now, the rest of the year, to get credit for studying Torah, you have to actually study Torah. But on Shavuot, you get credit. If you eat a milchig meal, if you eat a dairy meal, cheese kugel, blintzes, pierogan, it's just the same as eating Torah, as studying Torah. You see, that's number one. Number two, I did some research. When did this idea of eating milchigs, dairy on Shavuot first get started? Well, first I'll tell you the other reason for it. First off, with the honey and milk are under your tongue. The second reason is a little more complicated. The Israelites are standing at Mount Sinai, and God explains to them, Hilchos Kashrus, That is the laws of keeping kosher. They go back to the camp and they realize all of our meat is treif because we killed it before we found out about the kosher laws. So they took a day and ate only dairy so that they could slaughter the animals and have fresh meat. I know this is not very appetizing to the vegan folks, but it's a midrash. It's a drush. You'll like this better. I did some research and I found out the earliest source for eating dairy on Shavuot is 1270 in France. And the rabbi was Rabbi Avigdor Tzorfati. Why was his name Tzorfati? Because his name Tzorfat means France. So he's a Frenchman. That's why they called him Tzorfati. And you're supposed to eat bladen. Bladen. What's bladen? I researched it. I found it in Tablet magazine. Bladen, and I have a recipe right here for those of you who are adventurous. There are a couple of bladens. I found out there's something called erbladen. Erbladen is a baked pudding, and it's generally found in Sweden and Norway. Do we have any Norwegian Jews out there? Swedish Jews? Okay. Danish Jews? Any Danish? Do you know in Denmark, they don't call it a Danish, they call it a Viennese. Isn't that interesting? You can't get a Danish in Denmark. Anyway, so that's a baked kind of pudding, but this is not what we call fladen. Fladen, that's a great name, fladen. It's a kind of comfort food. There are different layers. You eat a little piece of it because a little goes a long way. There's an apple layer, a walnut layer, a poppy seed layer, and a plum jam layer. And fladen has got to be filled with the richest, most delicious things that a Jewish mother can offer. It starts at, nowadays it's from Hungary, okay? So a shout out to all of our Hungarian members. But now it goes back to Germany, and the word fladen means flatbread. Any flatbread people out there? This isn't a flatbread. This is fladen. This is packed. It's very intense. And the beautiful thing, there's always got to be, because it's a Jewish cake, it's all these different fruits, the almond, the walnut, the poppy seed, the plum, the apple, they all get along. They don't fight each other. That would be very hard to eat something where one layer is fighting the other layer. So there's shalom bayis, the peace of the household. And in those days, they said, going back to the 13th century again, my friend Rabbi Tzorfati, people would hock their cookware in order to buy the ingredients for fladen. Let's see. And that was Colonimus ben Colonimus. He made fun. He said, the Jews don't study Torah. They're busy fressing. Has that happened ever since that time? No? Okay. It's possible. They bake a strange bread. They bake challah, but their challah has honey and cherries. That'd be very nice. Is that more like a mandel bread? See, when I was a kid, and I would say, Ma, what's for dessert? She would say, fresh fruit. And I would say, don't you have a lousy piece of cake? Shabbos, she bought the mandel bread. And I told you already, it was the mandel bread, it was a loaf, and they put it into the bread slicer. And when she brought it home, I would carefully extract the middle slice, which was the biggest, and then I'd push the other halves, the other ends of the cake together to hide my theft. And now what was significant, I know people make mandel bread different ways. Some people make it like a biscotti. That's not my mandel bread. The mandel bread I remember was made with glacé fruit. And that is an amazing thing, glacé fruit. My mother would say, do you have a piece of fruit? I would say, yeah, I had glacé fruit. I mean, do you get vitamins from glacé fruit? Do you get anything good from glacé fruit? The little red cherries and the green things. I never figured out the green things. Okay, so we'll finish up with a quick story about a rabbi going to the Holy Land, because back in the Middle Ages, back in the 19th century, actually, there was a rabbi, Reb Mordechai of Nezish. He wanted cloth from Eretz Yisrael so that he could make a talis cotton. Do we know a talis cotton? Chazan, did you wear a talis cotton in yeshiva? No? Oh, okay. All right. No, we wore a talis cotton. It's like a serape, which I understand is Mexican. It's got a hole in the middle, and it's got tzitzis at all four corners, and you wear it in your pants. But if you're Chabad, where do they have the tzitzis? Outside, because it says, Uri'itam otam, you shall look upon them. All right. So this rabbi had the cloth from Eretz Yisrael, and he wanted a talis cotton. He wanted the serape with the tzitzis. And one of his talmidim volunteered to make it for him. And he says, it's all right, you can do it. Because he wanted the mitzvah of A, sewing a cloth from Israel, and B, doing a mitzvah, because, anything connected with tzitzis is a big mitzvah. So, but the student didn't know what he was doing, as is frequent among yeshiva students. How many holes do you have to make the talis cotton? How many holes for the head? How many heads have we got? Yes, 3 heads for the people among us who have 3 heads. What about the one-headed individuals? You make 1 hole, 1 head, that's it, genug. And this one had 2 holes, and the student was so afraid to give the talis cotton to the Rebbe that he was trembling when he gave it to him. And he gave it to him, and the Rebbe says, what's this? How many holes you got? He says, I got 2 holes. He says, 2 holes. He says, never mind, Bacher, never mind. I'm not mad at you. This talis is perfect. I need 2 of these talitot katanot. I need 2 of these little prayer shawls. One that I should observe the mitzvah of tzitzis, and the other one is a test to see if I can control my temper. Bada boom. That's it. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, good Yontif, enjoy the Fladen. Okay? All right, Chazan, Gamarnu. Okay? I don't hear. Oh, all right. I don't. Am I off?
Unmute the Chazan.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, the talit, the service is on page 28. Barechu et Adonai mevorach. Okay. Baruch Adonai mevorach le'olam va'ed. No.
Okay.
Go up.
Yeah, I know. I'm having trouble with my computer doing this tonight. I don't know why.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מרי ורבים בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עיתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו, בורא יום בלילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני יום.
Okay, let's read together. If we could read, just push it up a little bit, please. Excuse me, light and darkness on the lower left. Light and darkness, night and day, we marvel at the mystery of stars. Together, moon and sky, sand and sea, we marvel at the mystery of sun. Twilight, high noon, dusk and dawn, though we are mortal, we are creation's crown. Flesh and bone, steel and stone, we dwell in fragile temporary shelters. Grant steadfast love, compassion, grace, sustain us, O God, our origin is dust. Majesty, mercy, love endure. We are but little lower than the angels. Resplendent skies, sunset, sunrise, the grandeur of creation lifts our lives. Evening darkness, morning dawn,
darkness,
renew our
morning
lives
dawn,
as you renew all time. Amen. Okay, turn the page, 29.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושכבנו וקומנו נצליח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי בחיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגיום בעלינה ואהבת כל תשים ממנו לעולמי Baruch atah Adonai, Oepamo Yisrael.
Amen. All right, we'll turn the page or go down or whatever. Let's cover our eyes and do the Shema together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai
Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vahed. Reading in the English, you shall love Adonai, with your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Reading silently the following paragraph and also the one at the beginning, at the top of the following page.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ויתן קדושים אל אלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And continuing on the following page.
אמן ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו.
Okay. All right, the prayer for healing. Let's see if we can manage this with people. Well, just remember the name of the folks you know who are not well. And we are praying especially for Carol Schroeder, that she should have Refu'ahShelemah from her accident, and anyone else in need of healing. Let's read the top left-hand paragraph. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Amen. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai,
baruch shemo,
borei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol hamo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo. Amen. We turn to the following page.
34. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם, והביאו את בני ישראל אותי לעולם, והביאו את בני ישראל אותי לעולם, ששת ימים עשה הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
Half Kaddish.
וידבר משה אל מועד אדוני אל בני ישראל, אל בני ישראל. יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דיברה כבדהו ימליך מלכותם בחיי כל וביומי כל ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בזמן קריב ויברו אמן. יריש מרבנולם שלום יום יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר מתרומה מתרס ויתעורר ויתעלה שמי קודשם בריחו וידע מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבקתה ונחמתה אמינה בעלמא Amen.
All right, the Amidah, the standing silent prayer. A good time to address personal prayers to the Almighty or repeat one of the lines, as I like to do. 35b to 38. When you're done, you may be seated.
הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Israel. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Israel. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Israel. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Israel. Ve'ibru, Amen.
All right, that was the full Kaddish. Continuing now on 49.
No, 48, full Kaddish now.
48.
48. יתגדל ויקרא השם רבה.
אמן.
נעלמה נברכנו וימליך מלכותו וחייכנו וימיכו וחיי כל ישראל. הרבי זמנגרי והגימרו.
אמן.
יגש מרבה גדולה. לעולם לעולם בעולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרום ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה לשמו לקודשה. ואלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה מן אמנם וקימדרו.
אמן.
תתקבל אצל אדמות לכל ישראל כדמות ושמיה וקימדרו.
אמן.
יהי שלום הרבה משמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו.
אמן.
עושה שלום ואברמה ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל והימרו אמן. עושה שלום ואברמה ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל והימרו אמן.
All right, we skip the Kiddush, sadly, and we go right to the Aleinu. You may rise.
Aleinu לשבח לנו נקול לתת לנו יוצא בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות ולא שמנו למשפחות אדמה שלא שמנו כעת וגורלנו כגורל עמונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Reading silently.
שבת ימי יוצא לארץ ובשור יקרו בשמיים ממעל שכינתו וגואל אלוהים ואלוהינו אמת דרכנו וזולתו דרכנו בתורתו וידעת יום אשר אותה אלוהיך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתעקבנו איתו.
You can come on.
בר בחיי למלך כל הארץ ויאמרו יהיה אדוני אחד ושמות
I wanted to say that if folks want me to announce the name, if they're having yahrzeit, then please, you can email it to me directly. I can send you my email if you text me. But really, we're very glad to do it. It's a great honor. First and foremost, this evening, we want to offer condolences to our dear, sweet temple president, Rita Fleming Klein. The yortzeit for her mother of blessed memory, Ruth Pitt, Hebrew name Refu'ahShelemah, Bat David Vasora. And also a yortzeit for Dr. Mark Gilbert's father, Henoch ben Mordechai. And everybody should, oh, that's Refu'ahShelemah, I'm sorry, Refu'ahShelemah, Lahavdil, as we say, to separate. In any case, the mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 52. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, amen.
Amen.
Allah divrach chirutei v'yamliach malchutei. V'chayechon v'yimechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivorach li'olam ul meil maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. V'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiran bi'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. Chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yal kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru, amen. All right, you may be seated if you're standing for the mourner's Kaddish. And do we have any announcements? I have one announcement.
I have one.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Jordan.
Thank you.
Hi, Georgie.
Bye.
That's my baby.
Jordan.
That's my baby.
Bye, Rabbi.
5'10". Thank you. Yes, I'm very small. The other thing is, Cantor and I are very honored. Tomorrow we're going to be leading services on the second day of Shavuot. Yes, second day. And frankly, if we weren't living in Gullus, if we weren't living in the diaspora, that wouldn't even be happening, because in Israel, Shavuot is one day, and Pesach, for example, they don't have the second day of Yom Tov, so they're 7 days long. But that's something we could discuss some other time. So if you're interested, please join us. The same venue, davening here, davening there, and begins at 9:30. Okay, we will not be having a Torah reading. I'm reading Cantor's order of service up there. No Torah reading, but we'll be doing most everything else. Okay, sort of abbreviated, not exactly abbreviated. Please come, and we're glad to have you. Always a pleasure to daven with our dear friends. Okay?
Remember that we have Iskor tomorrow.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Yishka.
Yisker.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Traditionally, you say Yisker for father, mother, sister, brother, son, daughter, spouse, unless you were very, very close to great aunt Sylvia, in which case you could say Kaddish or Yisker for her as well. Okay? Anything else? Yes? No?
I unmuted everybody if they have something to say.
Oh.
Your membership packets are in the mail.
Except for Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're now on our way. Joni and I are marching quickly over the next 4 weeks to get our high holiday packet to you. So high holidays are coming. We're going to celebrate together 5,781.
You bet.
And even
That's almost my age.
Celebrate together in the synagogue?
No.
We don't
We're
know.
not celebrating together in the synagogue unless we hear of a major miracle.
Okay.
We will be celebrating together virtually if that miracle doesn't happen.
Okay.
Whatever we're doing together as our Temple Sholom family and our community. We are together no matter what.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yes.
Bless you, Rita.
Yes, thank you, Rita. You're doing a great job. Also, when Rita was talking and Sherry were talking about miracles, it was the late great David Ben Gurion who said that in Israel, miracles are commonplace. Miracles happen every day. The big miracles you got to daven. I don't think he would have said that. He was a socialist. All right. Thank you, Rita. That was great. And many thanks to Joni as well. Okay? And I think we're ready to Adon Olam.
Yep.
Rhoda, go ahead.
I am going to go ahead.
Where has he gone?
Adon Olam, Hashem
Shalom.
Adon Olam.
so cool. Sana
Yay! Thank you so much. You guys rock. Really. Oh, Laura's there. Laura, woo! Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Okay. All right.
And happy birthday, Jordan.
Happy birthday, Jordan.
Thank you.
Jordan's been celebrating his birthday since December.
Happy birthday
To you.
Very nice.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Just for my wonderful, simple family.
I'm gonna ask silence, everyone silence, please. Rhoda, do you have your gazoo with you? Where's your gazoo?
It's Rhoda's.
Rhoda, where's your gazoo?
You're taking Rhoda's job.
That was Largo.
Is that Rhoda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Echo effect.
Love you all.
Love you too.
Cha-cha. Yes.
I see everybody tomorrow morning, 9:30.
Yes.
Yes. 9:30 in the morning, 8:30 in the night.
Yes.
9:30.
Just do what I do. Sit by the computer all night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Samaya and a good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Bye.
Rachel.
Good Shabbos.
Bye. Hi, Ida and Arthur. Bye.
I'll meet you in the special hall for the flood.
Yeah. Everybody for coffee.
Yeah, really. Okay.
Night all.